down the non-clutch free throw. They could be up by 30 points. Like, man, just graze the rim.
He ain't gonna do that.
He can't help you.
And then they say he was working with somebody.
Yeah, he was working with Chuck Person. Reggie Miller said it earlier this year, and they was telling how his shooting stroke had improved. Which you, if you watch, you can see it has, but it hasn't translated into makes.
No, I haven't seen it.
No free throws.
He was
Yeah,
working with
he missed like
Olajuwon.
7 free throws or something in the fourth quarter, right?
I don't even, but they ain't, my point is he's shooting the worst. They say he got. It's still early in the season, but he got the worst percentage he's had his whole career.
And it's going down.
That's after you work the free throw.
He was 7 of 21 against the Magic, even though they did the Hacker Howard.
That's what they were supposed to do.
Exactly. Same thing. That's good coaching.
That is very good coaching.
That is good coaching, and that's the reaon they won.
That's the same thing they used to do to him when he was in Orlando.
Hacker Howard. But see, the difference was he wasn't getting the calls because the refs didn't like him.
No, they waited too late. They didn't wait till the fourth quarter. No, you saw Hackam in the second quarter. That's how you build your lead up.
Yeah.
So you get to build a lead up. Then we try to come back and they try to feed him the ball, foul him more.
Well, see, that was bad coaching D'Antoni because he should have took Dwight out the game and put in Pau Gasol.
That's what they should have did. Mm-hmm. They say he's trying to get Pau traded, so
They don't like Pau.
No.
Come on, Orlando.
Hey,
we could use a big man in Orlando.
We'll take him.
A solid big man in Orlando.
That's what they need. They just need somebody solid down there that can score.
We'll take the beat.
But Davis doing his thing. I got to give it to him. Davis. I went to the Brooklyn Nets game last Friday. Brooklyn spanked them, but I got to say, what's that boy name?
The new shooting guard?
No, I can't. But
he played for Orlando, or he played for Boston?
No, he played for Orlando.
We don't know none of their names.
The McRoberts, he played hard. He always played hard. Though I don't know why he don't play more. And Davis gonna always play hard. What I'm still trying to figure out is how does J.J. Redick got a job? J.J. Redick.
He can shoot, man.
J.J. Redick is the
man,
man.
They say he can shoot, man.
J.J. Redick is the man on the team.
This is the key, what you said. They say he can shoot.
Don't talk about J.J. Redick, bro.
That's the key. That's the key to what you just said.
Redick.
They say he can shoot.
And he done proved it.
Yeah, when he was in college, yes, he did.
But see, like I say, one thing about the Magic. You come to Orlando, they train you how to be a baller, then they trade you and you become a baller.
This is the problem. I'm not saying J.J. Redick can't be a good player. He's in the wrong system. He's in the wrong system and he's surrounded around the wrong people. So if you surround him by a bunch of people that are real scoring threats, then he becomes deadly because now he shoots wide open shots all the time.
But that's how this year, you're right.
And now he's playing the system where they guard him. He's one of the biggest threats on the floor. So somebody go stay in his face, and he can't operate like that. He didn't operate that good like that in college.
You're right about that.
When he was in college, he made a lot of shots because the Duke offense, they drive and they kick. He shot a lot of open threes.
That's the thing about when you're in your building stage. That's what they're doing. They're in their building stage right now, and they need to keep J.J. Redick. They should have kept Ryan Anderson, but
they should have kept Ryan.
They didn't. He wanted to go, but J.J. Redick is somebody that they need to keep because, in my opinion, he is another Steve Kerr. Steve Kerr played for the Orlando Magic, got traded to Chicago, and how many rings Steve Kerr got now?
He ain't no Steve Kerr.
Ben Wallace, Jude Bleacher.
Steve Kerr was hitting shots. He was hitting quality shots from the day he came in the league.
Nah, so was J.J. Redick. Are you serious?
I'm serious.
You was in Tennessee when that was going on.
No, but I was still watching Magic.
Nah, y'all ain't get Sunshine Network.
I was still watching Magic.
You wasn't getting Sunshine.
I was still watching Magic. I've been to a few games here, and if you really talk to the people in the audience, a few people sitting around, they be like, I can do that. I can go follow my man around and let him shoot.
That's defense.
Shout out to JJ.
Hey,
you doing his thing, man. He holding it down.
And they say, man,
Orlando
I can go 2 for 10 every night.
Nah, JJ does not go 2 for 10 every night. No.
He holding it down for the Orlando Magic, man. He's one of the longest standing players.
I would say this,
man. Shout out to
he is one of the more popular players. I believe that's why he's still in town.
Because he got drafted.
Because he's one of the more popular players. He
from
really
Orlando.
Is. When that man come in the game, I was just, like my mom said, that man come in the game, you would think he was an all-star. That arena go crazy. Like he hitting 30 a night. That man averaging like 8.6 on 30 shots.
That's all right, though. They love some JJ Redick in the
Do
city.
they?
I love some JJ.
Do they?
Hey,
JJ.
man. JJ.
JJ.
Shout out to JJ
You
Redick.
keep
man.
on shooting that thing, boy.
All right.
Okay, what do shooters do?
They shoot. That's right. Man.
Yeah. But
They shoot.
eventually they supposed to make them. Eventually.
What do haters do?
They
hate.
hate.
Okay.
Oh yeah, they hate.
Okay.
I ain't hating on the man.
Oh, you just saying. I know.
I'm just saying. I'm an observer. I'm an observer.
That's all right, man.
Besides, I'm a North Carolina fan, so you know.
That's all right,
Oh,
man.
that's what it is.
On Sunday,
That's part of it.
On Sunday, the Magic beat the Lakers, sent Dwight Howard home on Sunday night, upset. That's all I care about.
Sent
right
Kobe home upset.
Sent Kobe home. I think I read something where Kobe was like, he's gonna have to. I think he said he was gonna have to beat up the whole locker room or cuss him out or something. He said.
You don't have to say. You have to put on that big boy pants.
After that Magic game.
Yeah. You said somebody put on the big boy pants.
But yeah, man. Shout out to the Magic, man, for destroying the Lakers on Sunday, and disappointing everybody in the Staples Center that night, because they certainly didn't think the Lakers was gonna lose to just the Magic.
To the Magic?
It was just the Magic.
That's like losing to Cleveland.
All right.
I didn't see the game, but
That's like losing to the Wizards.
Did they come out playing hard?
The Magic play hard. They play hard every night.
That's the thing about them. They
ain't play hard Friday night.
Well, see, you got Brooklyn has a different mindset.
Nah, Brooklyn didn't play hard either, and they still spanked them.
That's all right, man.
Darren Williams was chilling all night.
It's an 82-game season, man. It's an 82-game season. We're in it for the long haul, man. We're in it for the long haul. But, again, shout out to the Magic, man. Shout out to the Magic. But we'll move on from the Magic, because we could get there all night on the Magic.
Yeah, we can.
We can get there all night on the Magic. Just a couple quick news stories. You guys see this one? The dolphin at SeaWorld that bit the little 8-year-old girl in the hand.
Yeah, I did see that. That was very interesting. I'm more inclined to go with the comedian Chris Rock. Dolphin ain't do nothing. He just went dolphin. He saw a fish dangling overhand. Now, first of all, y'all got to. This is the thing people don't realize. We grew up. I've been to SeaWorld. So before they was feeding dolphins, we was feeding the stingrays and all that little stuff. Now you got the fish you dangling. Now everybody along the thing got fish dangling. The dolphin's jumping up, grabbing, She turns her head, but the fish is still sitting there. The dolphin don't know.
Well, actually, it wasn't even fish at that point. It was just a little paper thing that they handed.
It smelled like fish.
It smelled like fish.
So the dolphin think it's fish.
The dolphin don't know.
So he jumped up. So they like tuna to me.
Please don't tell me they killed the dolphin.
No.
Oh, okay.
They didn't kill the dolphin.
They better than that. I go protest.
They didn't kill the dolphin. It sounds like, from what I read of the story, it sounds like the according to the family, the thing that disappointed them most about the whole experience was how the staff that was there really tried to downplay the event. It sounded almost like maybe the SeaWorld people came over and like, oh, it was a mistake. She had her hand out and the dolphin, like you said, the dolphin really doesn't know. He was really just trying to grab some food. It was a mistake because it seemed like he kind of grabbed on, realized it wasn't fish.
Yeah, and he let go.
And then he let go. And even the parents were talking about the injuries that the little girl experienced. Apparently, they said I think there was 3 little pinhole or maybe the size of a dime, little punctures in her hand.
Yeah,
and of course, it was swollen. But it sounds like they're not even interested in suing.
Nah, they crazy about that. I'm need my free lifetime passes for my family for the dolphin puncture. That I require.
They don't seem to be interested in suing, but they did say they were sort of disappointed because they did not. It's kind of, I guess, respond in any particular way that I guess, in their opinion, showed even more concern about the little girl rather than kind of brushing it off as a little mistake that, it sort of happens, if you will. But I think, like you say, man, any time you're feeding wild animals,
first of all, you don't turn your head.
You're taking a risk.
You don't turn your head.
You're taking a risk.
If you're feeding anything,
yeah. If you're standing around where they're feeding,
no.
If you're at Gatorland and y'all feeding raw chickens, you ain't gonna turn your head and have the chicken sitting right there.
No.
You might not come back. You better hope you just get an arm lost.
So you always got to watch out for stuff like that. But like you said,
y'all be more careful, please.
You got to be careful. The thing I liked, the little 8-year-old girl who the family was at SeaWorld, because the 8-year-old girl is very fascinated with dolphins. After the experience, her
whole opinion changed.
No, it didn't actually. That's the cool thing. She still loves dolphins. She still wants to grow up and be a trainer for dolphins.
She gonna probably be the head trainer in 20 years.
So for her, yes, it was a little bit of obviously a setback, but she's not deterred about the event. She still loves them. She still thinks they're awesome. Blah blah blah. So that was pretty cool. The little girl kind of took it in stride at the end of the day. So that's pretty cool. Right there, dolphins. You gotta be careful, man. Wild animals will eventually act like a wild animal.
They will.
It's a natural part of life. It is only a matter of time, not if, but when. But yeah, we learned that with Shamu several times. Several times.
Shamu, Can Do,
all of those guys. But yeah, man, that's interesting little story that happened in last couple of days here. The other one I wanted to mention, I saw this one today. There's a new article out. Apparently, Oprah is no longer the richest black woman.
I'm reading that right now. It shocked me.
Apparently, Oprah is no longer the richest black woman in the world. 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680.
And according to this, not by long, the other woman, she got $500 million. She's worth $500 million more than Oprah.
Now, if Oprah not the richest black woman, who is?
Well,
I'm single. I'm looking.
Would you attempt to? I saw the name because she's
her name. I'm gonna go there.
She's from Africa, so
Yeah, she's Nigerian. Is Folaronsho Alakija.
All right, I'll take it.
And she yes, Miss Alakija.
I'll take it.
Now, is that the bone chick that Eddie Murphy was talking about? Eddie Murphy wrote?
Not at all.
No, sir.
That is not her.
No, sir. She's a fashion designer and an oil tycoon.
Oh.
So this is definitely not her.
This is definitely.
If she does have a bone through her, it's platinum. It is not
with diamonds.
Yeah,
with diamonds.
It's not marrow
with diamonds on the inside.
That's such.
But yeah, she's worth approximately 3.3 billion.
Yeah.
Compared to Oprah's 2.7. So Oprah is officially
now is she
or
the
unofficially because according to Forbes,
woman or the richest black woman?
Black woman.
Oh.
According to Forbes,
the Walmart lady, the widow of Sam Lawson, I think she's the richest woman.
Yeah. Well, that whole family's got a couple tens of billions of dollars. I think all of those.
Yeah, I think.
Got tens of billions.
The widow and all the kids are all in the top 10 richest people in the world.
But yeah, they like you said, she's an oil tycoon and fashion designer, all in Africa there. Although there's a little bit of controversy because this particular article, most times when you talk about richest people in the world, it's Forbes that does the calculation. And according to Forbes, recently, her most recent estimations were around 600 million, but this article is coming from a newspaper in Africa that says their calculations were wrong, apparently, according to them, and the real number is actually 3.3, which puts her over.
So my question is this: where has she been the last 5 years then?
Well, no, like I said, according to Forbes, she's on Forbes, but according to Forbes, which is, what the standard bearer, if you will, they have it listed at around 600 million. But this particular publication, which can you tell me the name real quick, there, Jeremy? This particular publication, which is based in Africa.
I'm actually not reading from that publication.
Well, they did they recalculated it and said that, I guess in Forbes, apparently there was some kind of dispute with her oil field percentages as far as how much of the oil company she owns, and apparently that dispute has been settled. And when you settle the dispute, according to them, the 60% stake that she has in the company puts her worth at around 3.3 billion, basically. But again, the reason why you haven't heard from her, because according to Forbes, which is the standard bearer, her last estimation was around 600 million. So she was on their list, but she was on their list at number 24. So because she was worth $600 million. But again, this new estimation, obviously, this has a new calculation based on, again, some kind of recent filing that she won in Nigeria that now puts her net worth at approximately $3.3 billion. But we'll see what happens the next time Forbes does their estimations, and we'll see where she turns out. And most people will probably take that as they're the standard bearer when it comes to people's net worth.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what happens. But according to this African publication, which sorry, I don't have it in front of me, but they say she's worth 3.3 compared to Oprah's 2.7. I didn't know Oprah was worth 2.7. I remember the last time I saw her, she was like $1 billion, but I didn't know she was at 2.7 now.
You know, with the network and all that stuff puts that net worth up.
This is true. But I don't know if she's single there, brother, Mr. King. I do not know if she is.
She's not single. She got kids and grandkids. I've already looked at that. She's 61. She's cute. She has some nice lips. But no, she's not single. She is married. She in the 1970s worked as a secretary. I got the whole background that fast. That's all I needed. The beauty of the internet. The beauty of the internet. Wikipedia does one. And Wikipedia trying to take donations now like they going broke or something.
Well, everybody's gotta support themselves. So.
Yeah, they saying they gotta support the website, but it's like, hey, I go on there and put the definition, not y'all. I mean, I don't understand.
Somebody's got to maintain those servers, though. But let's go ahead and move on. Get to a more serious topic. So over the this past weekend, of course, there was a funeral for a young man in Jacksonville. This past weekend, Jordan Davis. This story happened, about a couple of weeks ago now, where in Jacksonville, a gentleman pulled up into a convenience store next to a group of boys, black boys, in a SUV who were playing loud music. The gentleman, who so happens to be a white gentleman, pulled up next to the car, apparently asked them to turn the music down. Some kind of alter, or at least words were exchanged as they describe it. The end result, this man took out his gun, shot into the car about 8 or 9 times, they say. The end result of that, the teen Jordan Davis was shot and killed. And of course, they have now since arrested the man whom I believe, if I remember right, trying to recall this off the top of my head, his name is Michael Dunn, I believe is the gentleman's name. And he has been charged. Can you find those charges for me, Mr. King? I want to say it's second-degree murder
and attempted murder.
And attempted murder, right. Second-degree murder and attempted murder. And the headline here is one, we got another Trayvon Martin is one of the headlines. And then 2, his lawyer is claiming the stand your ground law as his defense. And so once again, the stand your ground haters, I'm going to call them, they're out in droves protesting against the stand your ground law, because once again you have the shooting of Michael Dunn says they had a shotgun that they flashed at him. According to the police report, the 4 boys had no gun in the car. They could produce no evidence of a gun ever being in the car. But he says there was, and so as a result, he apparently, I read one article and it says, so they flashed a shotgun, and then he had time to reach over across the driver's seat into the glove compartment, take his gun out of the holster, and then turn around and shoot the boys 8 or 9 times in the car, all before they obviously brandished a gun and then put it back down, clearly before he was able to fire off 8 or 9 shots. Okay. But
and he only shot one of them, or he shot more than one and just killed one?
Well, he shot the car 8 or 9 times, but 2 bullets, apparently 2 of the 7 or 6 or 7 bullets actually landed into Jordan Davis and killed him. It doesn't really address where the other stray bullets went, but I mean, besides the fact that they went in the car, but it doesn't suggest that any of the other boys in the car, the other 3 boys, were harmed by any of the bullets. I guess Mr. Davis in the back seat of this car must have, maybe he was the one I guess according to Michael Dunn, maybe he was the one that kind of was the loudest. I don't know exactly how it went down.
It also
but that's kind of what the story suggests.
It also says that the SUV peeled off, drove off, and he kept firing at the SUV because they might come back.
Doesn't sound like
his story's a little fishy.
Yeah.
His story's a little fishy.
It smells a little dolphin-y, actually.
It's a little fishy. 407-894-1680 if you got any comments. 407-894-1680 if you got any comments. But of course, again, what is the controversy? The controversy is, according to his lawyer, she's going to claim the stand your ground law as a defense. Because, again, according to Mr. Dunn, he saw a shotgun, felt threatened, and as a result went to get his gun, and he started shooting at them. And so, two issues people have. One, they say, see, this is what happens because of the gun control laws. And then two, they say this is what happens because we have this stand your ground law. Okay? I'm going to tell you, I disagree with both of these ideas. Because when he pulled out that gun, I doubt very seriously in the back of his mind was going, I can shoot these boys because I'm just going to claim stand your ground. So here you go. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, no, that is not the thought process that was in his head. So if that wasn't his thought process, then we can't say that stand your ground was the reason that he shot them. Yeah. Clearly, most of us, myself included, and probably most people reading the story, probably doubt very seriously that, because again, there is no evidence of this, that the boys had a gun. Because if they had one, you would think after the man shot at least 4 times, you would think if they had a gun, somebody would have shot back just out of fear.
Yeah.
And clearly that didn't happen. So that again takes away from his story. Now, the fact that his lawyer wants to claim it, even that's not an indictment against the law, because just because I say I'm going to use the law as a defense it doesn't mean that I'm actually going to be able to do it. It's just a statement at this point. So again, the law hasn't done anything, because just because you say you're going to use it doesn't automatically mean that you can.
Right.
You still have to go to a court of law. You still have to prove your case, and then a judge still has to decide whether or not he agrees with the evidence that you present. And clearly in this case, I think very, unless, yes, I know that the system is not always in our favor, if you will. I'll acknowledge that at least that's the perception. But at the end of the day, I think the evidence that they have, which is essentially the man's word against the other boy's words, I don't think it, comes to that. I doubt very seriously it comes to the standard bearer of, validating the stand your ground law. It doesn't sound like it. I haven't heard any evidence in this case so far. And of course, it doesn't necessarily mean we know everything, but from what we've heard, there doesn't seem to be any evidence to really suggest that. So to think and get upset that it's going to be that, in spite of, having a hearing and then jumping down, oh, here we go again, I think it's a little premature, I think it's premature. And as far as gun laws, gun laws don't prevent stuff like this.
No, they don't.
The gun law doesn't stop this kind of thing, because one, it sounds like maybe this guy, in Florida, of course, we have the concealed permit license that you can go and get. Pretty much anybody that can pass the background check can go and get a concealed license permit. So there's a process to get that, but not having it doesn't prevent you from from carrying a gun. If you have a gun and you want to carry it, you can put it in your car, regardless of whether or not you have this license. So a gun law doesn't prevent this from happening. So that's just my opinion on it. And I think it's, again, premature for people to once again go, see, it's because Florida has that stand your ground law. It's an open season on black boys. Like, no. 407-894-1680. 407-894-1680. What do you guys think?
Well, no, I agree with you. I don't think this is something to get all up in arms about. One, with the Trayvon Martin situation happening, the police, when they came in, they was like, okay, we got to make sure this is right. It did happen in a big city. It did happen in Jacksonville. So, they have a little more resources than Sanford would have, a little more, probably a little bit more experience. and they didn't take it lightly. They found the man the next day. They were on top of it. So I think we should just let the law play out in itself, and excuse me, and I believe the truth will come to light.
I still don't know. I'm kind of iffy about it. Like I say, this man was 45 years old. So I'm pretty sure he did not just recently get his gun license. And when you get your gun license,
they're not even sure he has a license.
They're not even sure he has one. How you not sure?
They haven't confirmed it yet.
How you not sure?
They knew he was an avid gun collector, but they didn't know if he had a concealed weapons permit license.
Right.
You got to have a license to carry it around.
Mm-hmm. Right. So was it a lock on his trunk?
I guess you don't.
Not on the trunk, but in the glove compartment, because you got to have a lock on your glove compartment. See that's what I'm saying. And Jacksonville, it depends on what side of Jacksonville he was on. If he was by Reebok, he was by Raines, he was by Ed White, if he was by Wolfson's, it depends on where he was at. Was he on Beach? Was he on the east side? Was he on the west side by JU? Was he by Fort Caroline? Where was he at in Jacksonville? Jacksonville is big.
Yeah, it is.
It's very big. So it depends on where he was at. But at the same time, you just pull out a gun because people talking trash at you. You just trying to scare these little black kids because you probably got tired of black kids talking trash to you. So you figure you'll just shoot some rounds in the car to scare them. End up you killed one of them.
It sounds like that's exactly what happened.
Sounds exactly what happened. Exactly.
That sounds exactly what happened.
Now, because you was wrong.
They had a gun.
Stand your ground. Let me figure out what I have to do to save my own butt, because I know I was wrong, but at the same time, we in Florida, and they got laws to justify the wrong. Simple as that.
Well, I disagree. The stand your ground is not about justifying, wrong.
But that's
action.
what Florida has. Florida has laws to justify. Any system has laws to justify the wrong.
But this is not justifying the wrong. That's not that may be someone's interpretation of the law, but that is not what the intent of the law is.
But that's what people are using it for. Though I know I am wrong, I can find a law that justifies my wrong.
Yeah, but see, I think that's part of why the stand your ground law has the negative connotation that it has, because people are trying to quote unquote use it to justify a wrong. But again, that is someone else's interpretation and use. But it doesn't automatically mean that you're right. Like in this gentleman's case, just because his lawyer wants to use it doesn't automatically mean it's gonna happen.
Right.
It still has to go into the court of law. And again, it doesn't really seem from the evidence that has been at least presented to the public, there's sufficient evidence to kind of prove that this was actually applicable as it relates to stand your ground. So again, jump on the law. They after the Trayvon Martin, of course, they had a big panel that the governor formed in order to take a look at it. As politics go, they say the panel was a little stacked, if you will.
Why we're not hearing as much about this as we heard about Trayvon Martin?
Well, because in this particular case, the actual man got arrested and he's not walking free. That's why I think that's my personal opinion.
I think it's deeper than that, but I won't.
Yeah, it.
That's my personal.
Did you know
this
that
man is arrested? This man is
Trayvon's dad
charged.
Was affiliated.
No, I was not aware of that.
No, I was not aware of that.
The pictures are on Brother Shine website. I didn't know it either, but Brother Shine put me on the game.
407-894.
Saw the pictures myself.
1680. 407-894-1680. Oh, you saw the pictures.
Saw the pictures with my own eyes. He was there in his I won't say what uniform he was in, but he was in his uniform. Yes, and that's why I feel like that one was so publicized and broadcast majorly, because this is something that's, same magnitude. That's the Trayvon situation isn't something that didn't happen not every day, but before that it happened frequently.
Right, but I think, like I said, the biggest difference here is the guy actually he was arrested within 24 hours almost of this particular event happening.
Yeah, they were on him.
And they were on him. He's been charged with second-degree murder and attempted murder.
Because which one was he charged with?
There's not both. There's
now,
nothing.
Which one was Zimmerman charged with?
Initially, he was charged with nothing, which I think is why you had the outrage. Because he was just essentially released, and then said, go on your way. We'll call you back if we need you. Right. Kind of idea. Whereas this man, within 24 hours, was in jail. He now has charges to him. And so at the very least, we know that he's going to go to court. Obviously, that doesn't necessarily lead to some kind of conviction, but we know he is at least going to court. And we knew that within 24 hours. I think that's the biggest difference. There was resolution, if you will, in this case. There was nothing just kind of hanging out there, and people were just wondering, what's going to happen to the guy that killed Mr. Davis? No, we know what's going to happen. He was charged with second-degree murder and attempted murder. The interesting thing about this particular case too is the guy actually apparently had some remorse about the end result of this particular event. So because he said apparently he was planning to turn himself in to his neighbor who was affiliated with law enforcement. So this guy even recognized the wrong that he had perpetrated. So
I feel like in this case justice will be served, though. I really do, because he had no case, no case at all.
Especially considering this was all over because some high school kids had some loud music. Like, really?
Exactly.
You 45.
And
you tripping.
You firing
high school kids
the SUV as they drive off scared. Now, if they had a gun, what they driving off scared for? You firing off at the SUV and they done drove off. You talking about you thought they were going to come back. After I fired 8 shots in it and they ain't fired none back. Then they drove off and I kept on busting at them because I've reloaded my clip.
So yeah, this one seems like hopefully, let's not say it seems, because things do change when it comes to the court of law. Things do change when it comes
rather swiftly
to the court of law. Things change rather swiftly. You never know until the actual conviction is signed, sealed, and delivered. 407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number to the station here if you have any comments. All right, I see we have a caller. It's the good brother Jimmy Shine out here. How you doing, Jimmy?
Shine. How y'all doing tonight?
We doing all right, brother. What's going on?
Y'all didn't know that Tracy Martin was a Freemason?
No.
Y'all didn't know that?
They didn't know that, Brother Shine. They didn't know.
The biggest stories of 2012 has been about Freemasons. Jerry Sandusky is a Freemason. The reason why Joe Paterno got fired and got in trouble is because he was trying to cover up for his Freemason brother, Jerry Sandusky. It is a tradition in the Freemason culture that one must always protect a brother Freemason, even if it requires him to go to jail. A Freemason must protect a Freemason. Yes, Tracy Martin is a Freemason, but I also found out that Jerry Sandusky is a Freemason. So, you see, these things go hand in hand. That was one of the biggest stories of 2012, Jerry Sandusky, the pedophile, and what he done to those boys. Pedophilia, homosexuality, a well-known type of culture in that particular lifestyle. But, those are the kind of things that you can't overlook. But let me make a quick comment about what you said about the guy that got shot, the kids that got shot in Jacksonville. The election was just over. Obama had won the election. White folks real mad.
Brother Shine, they were so mad. In Orlando, over in Paramore, some white kids went and took down the stop signs, took down the yield signs.
I saw that.
You read that article also?
Yes. But I personally feel that has something to do with it. It was the fact that Mr. Romney had lost, Obama had won. They wanted so badly for Obama to lose. And Obama had won, and boy, let me tell you, tempers were running high.
Is that right?
So the worst thing that possibly this could happen to this guy is that he's pulling up to a convenience store, and here come these black dudes playing old loud, cussing hip-hop music.
I'm sure he ain't say these black dudes. I'm sure he ain't say that. That's too polite. Here come these black dudes.
Yeah,
I'm sure he ain't say
you
that.
know what I'm thinking.
Here come these ninjas.
Yes, sir. And he said, well, you know what, I'm going to do something this time. Something's going to happen this time. And I really think that the nature of his mentality will probably come up in the trial. They're going to ask him, what were you thinking that particular night? What was on your mind that particular night? Right after the elections, and a lot of things had gone down, and a lot of things had been said. It'll be good to see the prosecutor get into his head and find out what was happening. That's going to be a really good trial. I hope that it goes well. Did y'all see the pictures of Zimmerman, the new pictures of Zimmerman?
I did see the new pictures.
About the bloody nose?
Some of the new pictures of Zimmerman there.
Now,
you're a little skeptical on that one, huh,
Now,
Mr.
what's
Chop?
that picture supposed to do when you see this guy with a busted, bloody nose? Now, what is that? Are we supposed to feel sorry for him?
Well, we're supposed to. The line is, you see, we told you he beat him up, and after he got beat up, he was scared and he had to defend himself. That's what you're supposed to believe. I was listening to some radio on my way into the station tonight, and that was exactly the message that I heard. See, the man told you the boy was beating him up, and now he's got these pictures, these bloody nose pictures and stuff, and so that proves that he wasn't lying to you and said the boy was beating him up and he had to defend himself. That's exactly what they're trying to tell you.
Incredible. Incredible. I don't believe it. Well, anyway, it's strange things are happening, and we're out there.
All right, man. We appreciate it, Jimmy Shine.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it. See you next week, brother.
Bye-bye now.
407-894-1680 is the number. 407-894-1680 is the number. I was gonna bring that up too. Did y'all notice those pictures?
Yeah, man. But I'm with Brother Don Miller on this one. I think that, like Don Miller say, piggybacking on what he said, once we teach our black boys to be non-confrontational, same thing. Like Don say, yeah, the man probably came after Trayvon. Trayvon beat his tail, and then he shot Trayvon. Same thing with this situation. The dude
in
probably
Jacksonville,
the dude probably said something to these black kids in the car. Turn that junk down. He probably ain't say junk, probably used something else. They didn't like it. They probably got slick, turned it up even louder, told him where to go and what he can kiss. And then it went from there versus just, okay, and turning the other cheek and going about our life.
Right.
Like brother Don Miller said it. We need to learn to stop being so confrontational.
Right.
Somebody get in your face, oh, well, I got a life to live. Get out my face. Because in 2012, people will kill you.
People will kill you.
Yeah, the drop of a hat.
And you look at, speaking of guns, the gun sales ever since the president won re-election, gun sales have
gone up.
They have tremendously increased.
Oh.
And you even see, not only, I'm talking to brothers. Man, the brothers are going out and getting their concealed weapons license too. So it's not just, the white men out there taking advantage of this concealed weapons license. The brothers are going out and getting their officials, let's say. They're going out and being official too. So, yeah, man, more people are carrying guns, man. You got to be careful.
You really do.
In 2012, who you jumping off at.
And we have to learn to shut our mouths as black people, black men, and definitely black women. We have to learn to be quiet. Just stop talking, go on about your life, because just like Cat Williams say, Jesus, I don't know what happened. I was at the light, I looked at him, and he looked at me, and now I'm here with you, Jesus. I don't know what happened. And that's how it goes. You don't know what happened. You look at somebody wrong, bang, bang, you dead.
Yeah, that is so true, brother. We do have to, especially as black men, because, the thing that in all of these situations, regardless of our opinions as black men and black men. And, I certainly don't feel like I'm a very threatening individual. but I also recognize in society, simply because I am black, I am perceived as a threatening individual. It's certainly certainly going to depend on, what I'm dressed like that day and so forth. That's certainly going to add to that. And even if you're dressed right sometimes, if you go into the right stores, a couple of stores in the city kind of feel that way sometimes. But
what store?
but even if you're quote unquote dressed right, there's still going to be that sort of hidden animosity out there. So we definitely have to be careful. Extra careful sometimes as black men, because we have to keep it in the back of our mind that there are a group of people, whether or not you believe it's a small group or a large group, that are fearful of us simply because we are black men.
Right.
And regardless of what we are dressed like that day, but
especially
if we are dressed according to the quote unquote stereotype. So you definitely gotta be careful with that. Speaking of shootings, of course, there was the shooting that happened in Kansas City over the weekend.
Everybody's
on Saturday. That one was just really tragic. I mean, here you have a successful, professional football player who basically randomly, it seems, decided to first kill his girlfriend, which I was reading the story. He basically killed his girlfriend while his mom was at the house.
Yeah,
wow.
his mom lived there with them.
His mom lived with them, so the mom had the baby somewhere in the house, and somehow he escalated into an argument with the girlfriend and ended up killing her while the mom was there. Yeah. And then he leaves his mom, goes to the practice stadium in front of the coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, as long as the GM of the Kansas City Chiefs has some kind of conversation with them, and then ultimately kills himself in front of the coach and the GM. And then, of course, everyone is mourning him, but really the story here is really is her.
For real.
Cassandra Perkins, man, she's the one that is truly hurting in this situation. I mean, yes, as a teammate, I would certainly, miss my teammate because he was there for 4 years. So he certainly built bonds with men on that team. But the sad thing is the girlfriend that lost her life for what from all intents and purposes seems to be nothing.
Well, reports say.
So she was hanging out late. That's basically
she was at a concert, and all men know that when you at a Trey Songz concert, you don't know what happened. Your girl might get pulled on the stage. Your girl might be backstage. We don't know. We don't know what happened. We just gonna say it like that.
Nothing. What you saying?
Well, he don't. Obviously, the argument was about something. This man plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, I'm a football player, and the concert is in Kansas City. So somebody I know knows what is going on behind the scenes, and the argument didn't just pop up over nothing. The argument ain't just, you was out late. Like, no, come on now.
But even still,
what I'm saying is
the
nothing.
The death.
You go. So you shoot your girl. So you shoot your girl who just had your 3-month-old child.
Exactly. I mean,
because she was out late last night doing.
So
you don't know.
Personally, I've never been a fan of the meds that the NFL use on these players. So who knows what the side effects was?
Yeah. But yeah, regardless of what happened, 407-894-1680. Regardless of what happened, what she did do, I don't know. Maybe she cheated, maybe she didn't. It doesn't matter what she did. It certainly doesn't. Nothing validates the idea that he would. I think they said he shot her 2 or 3 times.
No, they said. One thing I said, they said he shot her 8 or 9 times.
8 or 9. Well,
she should have shut up
multiple times. Nothing she did rises to the level of putting multiple bullets in her, especially after a 3-month-old baby. I mean, she's, a 3-month-old baby. So the baby ain't even barely looking at them consecutively. You know what I'm saying? And now the baby's without a mom, and now the baby's without a father.
Yeah.
And left to figure out the world with grandma, who I don't know how old his mother is, but she didn't raise her professional football player.
Exactly.
She don't want to raise no. I'm sure her life was not planned to be spent. Raising a little baby.
One thing that I have noticed that so far in 2012, women, boy, y'all better watch what y'all say in 2012. Y'all getting uppercutted on buses. Okay, then they getting shot because I'm pretty sure she was flipping off at the mouth saying this, that, and the third. Because
even still,
I'm not saying it's justifiable. I'm telling you about what happened, brother. I'm not saying, oh well, even if she start talking at the mouth, it's a reason to shoot her. No. I'm not saying that at all. But I'm saying is this: if she wouldn't have been flipping off at the mouth, I'm pretty sure she would be allowed to tell the story today. Same thing with the other brother that was in the car. Same thing with Trayvon. We as black people got to learn when to talk and when not to talk.
Well, I'll say this, especially when it comes to, a heated argument or discussion, if you will. Most people, especially when you're talking about your mate, most people, validated or not, most people feel very comfortable in saying whatever it is they want to say to their mate.
But most people with their mate know when to be. It's like, okay, I know this brother crazy.
Right, you should know what his buttons are.
Exactly.
You definitely should know what his buttons are.
And some women have a tendency to be like, what you gonna do, hit me? That's some women, I don't know this sister. So she might not have been that sister. But I'm pretty sure the three of us, since it's Fellas Day, we know some sisters that will be like, what you gonna do, hit me? What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? They will put you to the test just to try to, make your cup runneth over. And I'm not saying that's what she did, but I'm saying, hey, we as a black people, we need to learn when to be quiet.
A lesson learned. 407-894-1680. What do you guys think about them playing the game on Sunday right after the shooting take place? You guys, you think that was right?
I would say, yeah. And the reason I say that is because, what are they going to do? Just sit around and do what? I mean, it's not something that was. It's not like he came in the locker room and shot another player. You know what I'm saying? And he did something in his personal life, which is very tragic, and he killed himself. But I don't believe overall that has a bearing on what the team should be doing, or the organization or the company should be doing. If you work in Walmart, you go home, you shoot your wife, Walmart will be open tomorrow.
Yeah,
right?
But that's Walmart, though.
What do you mean that's Walmart? That's the Chiefs. That's a professional football organization. But
it's
different.
It's different because Walmart is a major company that has over 500 employees at each
Kansas
Walmart.
City Chiefs is a major football organization. You know how many people they employ?
32. They get on that field every day.
No, actually it's 53 people on the team. That's first of all.
Oh, okay. Well,
that's first of all. But then that doesn't even include the people that's on the practice squad. Doesn't include the coaches. Doesn't include the trainers. It don't include the people who work the concession stand.
Let me get this straight.
The people who clean the stadium. It don't include the people who bought their tickets.
So let me get this straight.
The people who work the parking lot.
See, I felt the same way you felt until I was watching PTI. And they gave me a whole different perspective of the whole situation.
Give me their perspective.
When somebody dies close to you, if somebody at your job that you saw every day for the last 4 years just went and killed themselves at the job, you're going to want to come to work like ain't nothing happened.
Well, you know what? I think what happened, because I did see a lot of reports that said they shouldn't play the story. Even Jason Whitlock did this impassioned story about why they shouldn't have played the game, but you know what I think?
Jason.
I think they really should. I think they should have played the game because you have to remember the mindset of an NFL player. For better or worse, the mindset of an NFL player, especially on game day, it's attack mode. It's let me take the aggression that I feel today, put it on this field against the opponent that I have to, at some point tackle or catch or whatever it is you do on that field. In order to channel it and then win this game. And so for football players to now process that this man who for some of them they've been with for 4 years is now gone, what's the best way for them to channel the energy and the frustration and the confusion they feel
that's not
for their team.
I can channel that next week.
Hold on.
I don't have to channel it the same
I got
week
another.
that the brother
I got
died.
But
we all know that it's all about the money.
Of course
the
it
NFL is not trying to lose the
money
not. That they would lose if the Chiefs didn't play that particular game.
Of course not. But let me say this.
Since he died, more people are going to come buy this ticket for this losing team. and they're going to try to come out and support because this team is losing and ain't made no revenue this year except that game. I don't even know if they won a game before that game.
They have. But the one thing about the Chiefs that you got to realize, the Chiefs got some of the most passionate fans. They ain't won in a long time. They still sell their games out. Now, but even outside of that, I'll give you a situation. When I moved in Tennessee, we went to work one morning. A guy fell out, had a heart attack right on the floor in the warehouse. You think we stopped working that day?
How long had you been working with him?
Working with him? Mm-hmm. I didn't know the guy personally.
Oh, okay.
But his department ran that day.
But I'm saying, how long did you know the guy personally?
I knew who he was. I didn't know him.
So you didn't know him at all?
But what I'm trying to tell you is...
went about your life because you didn't know who this brother was.
What I'm trying to tell you is the warehouse kept running. His department kept working.
Did he die?
Yeah, he died. He had a heart attack. He died. He was dead before he left the building.
And you went in and just kept on working because you didn't know the brother?
No, I just kept working because we went to work.
This is what I'm trying to say.
What I'm trying to say,
they knew this brother for 4 years.
Everybody worked. So he did it for 4 years. 4 years ain't even a long time. Let's just be real.
I was in high school for 4 years. 4 years.
4 years ain't even a long time. I'm sure a lot of us got relatives that had passed that we didn't get to the funeral. Am I right? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
Exactly.
407-894-68.
Exactly. So point being, if it was a tragic that was affected to me, if it affected the team on a mass scale, as far as like if he killed himself in the building, and then you discount the fact they had a choice. They didn't have to play if they didn't want to.
Yeah. But again, if you wouldn't have played, you wouldn't have got paid, and it's all about the money.
No, they would have got paid eventually because they would have made the game up.
Right, they would have
made the game up, so they would have got paid. That wouldn't even been the issue.
So then I don't understand why we couldn't make the game up.
Again, because I think as
I
put myself in that situation.
Next week.
I think if I was on the Kansas City Chiefs team, I would have wanted to play that game.
I would have wanted to play too. I'm going to be real with you.
Because I would have rather gone out and played a game, and like I said, took all the aggression, the frustration, the confusion that I felt about losing my teammate for the last 4 years and taking it out on the Panthers. I would rather have done that than to sit at home and then think about the idea that my teammate just killed himself and his girlfriend.
Right.
And now how do I process that information?
And see, that's
just me. Now you may disagree with that, but I think if I was a football player, if I was a basketball player,
you know what?
If I ran track, that's what I'd rather be doing. I'd rather be doing what I do than sitting at home and sulking, if you will.
You're completely right. I do disagree with that.
Other than that, you just go sit at home. What you gonna do? Get drunk?
No, that's what you may do.
You're not gonna be doing anything. I just don't see the point.
I'm gonna be thinking about the experiences that I had with this brother.
Tell you what I'm be thinking about. I'm like, what was this fool thinking? I'm like, I don't know him for 4 years. He ain't never showed me nothing like this. Now, what am I not finna go to work for? You understand what I'm saying?
I mean, it's a
now we can talk. We can talk later. We can talk about this later.
Think about what the coach and the GM that saw him do this. Now,
and the coach said we playing tomorrow.
Exactly.
Because what the coach do what the owner tell him to do because he got a job.
And see the fun. They did say the GM was tore up about it. But the coach is like, I mean, he's an older black man. I'm sure he's seen a lot in his day, and he like, we need to go to work. There's no reason that we might as well go ahead. He said that he would want them to play.
I would think he would.
He was like, hey, I mean, one of the things like this, nothing stops the show. One of us can drop dead here today. Guess what? Tomorrow, the station's gonna keep running. Our families gonna keep living. People still got to go to work. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it happens.
I pray to God that I don't be that one.
Oh, I pray to God that none of us be that one, but I'm just saying. All I'm saying is life goes on. You just can't stop right there.
I definitely agree with that, man. I definitely agree with that. Yeah. You're right. There is probably an aspect, especially from the NFL's point of view, especially from an owner's point of view, that they did at some point consider the revenue that could be potentially lost from not playing that game. I'd agree that was probably a conversation, but even beyond that, I think as a player, and I'm sure every single player, if you asked all 53 men on the team that they want to play that day, it's probably not 100%. It probably wasn't. But I bet you it was probably a majority. And a majority is, if you get 51% of the team that says they want to play, there's the majority, even though all 53 people didn't say it. So I certainly didn't have a problem with playing the game. I thought that was probably one of the best ways that those individuals could probably sort of process some of the anger and frustration that they felt. And heck, they won the game. So they came away. They came away feeling.
I mean,
that's something they hadn't done in about a month and a half.
Exactly.
The garbage Steelers won the game. So I mean, winning ain't everything.
No, it ain't everything.
It ain't everything. But I think it probably did something for those individuals. We'll wind down here. Shout out to Cat Williams. Apparently he's retiring. Maybe. Sort of.
Nobody know what that man doing.
Talking about after he slapped the Target employee, he
after he's had a series
of bar fight
of crazy
jail,
events
man.
This week. But
this is one of them things how you can't get too far away from God, man. You just lose it, man.
You do lose it when you stray. But we're gonna wind the show down here. We'll see you next week. We're going to talk a little bit about the fiscal cliff next week. We're going to kind of address that topic. I've kind of shied away from it. But we'll see you next week. RealFamilyTalk.weebly.com, Facebook, Real Family Talk. We love you. Appreciate you listening. This is your host, Jay Real, signing off. This is WOKB 1680, your urban empowerment and inspirational station.
Shout out to Derek also and Brother Boston. Thanks for tuning in.
You can follow us on Facebook, Real Family Talk. You can follow us on Twitter, Real Family Talk. The website, realfamilytalk.weebly.com.
WOKB, Winter Garden, Orlando.